Hi, Andy here. You probably know a basic fact or two about antifreeze, mainly that it's a bright colored liquid and poisonous to your household pets. But there might be some things you didn't know, like if it's called antifreeze, implying cold weather driving, then why do we also call it coolant? Just what is antifreeze anyway? I'll answer all your burning questions right after this. Antifreeze is a liquid that circulates in the cooling system, primarily as a heat exchanger between the engine, where it picks up heat, and the radiator, where it sheds heat to the outside air. Antifreeze refers to the concentrated product. It looks like this. When you add water to this, it becomes coolant. When buying it in an automotive store, you can either buy the concentrated antifreeze or the pre-mixed, ready-to-use coolant that has already been diluted. The cooling system lets the engine run at the optimal temperature for performance, efficiency, longevity, and emissions. While the liquid inside primarily acts as coolant, it's also an antifreeze liquid, preventing the system from freezing solid in cold weather. Automotive antifreeze has three primary uses. One, it lowers the freezing temperature to a very chilly minus 34 degrees Fahrenheit, preventing engine damage in extremely cold weather. Two, it paradoxically cools the engine by raising the boiling point of the fluid to approximately the operating temperature of the engine, and then drawing away the excess heat. And three, it prevents rust and internal corrosion, enabling longer engine life. You may be wondering what kind of magical liquid can lower a freezing point, raise a boiling point, and prevent rust. There are a few different ingredients depending on the age, brand, and type of antifreeze. But it's basically water, ethylene glycol, which prevents ice crystal formation in water, glycerol, aka glycerin, which gives it its viscosity, propylene glycol, which is a new main ingredient in antifreeze, and additives such as phosphate and sodium benzoate to prevent corrosion and keep the pH in balance. Antifreeze can be any number of colors, and before you ask, no, these aren't flavors. We beg you, please don't drink antifreeze. The most common color of antifreeze over the several decades is green. This stuff is still on the shelves and in radiators today. Today it's called conventional or inorganic antifreeze. Orange antifreeze is called DexCool. This is the newer stuff, filling cooling systems starting in the 1990s. European cars often have a blue antifreeze mix, although you can find it in American vehicles as well. This could be a hybrid antifreeze, combining inorganic and organic antifreeze. Before we move on, can you do us here at Bumper.com a solid and click the like button? It helps more people see the video. Unlike engine oil, your engine's antifreeze doesn't have a handy dipstick. However, there are a few ways to check your antifreeze and keep everything at the right temperatures. Check your overflow tank. It should be above the hot and cold lines when the engine is respectively warmed up or cold. If it's low, you can add more. The pre-mixed antifreeze just requires you to pour it into the overflow tank or radiator, while the undiluted antifreeze needs you to mix it 50-50 with distilled water. That book in your glove compartment that many ignore offers a bunch of advice. Under the maintenance section, it has a recommendation for changing your antifreeze. Keep it changed on schedule and you won't have to worry about it. If you really want to check the condition of your antifreeze, grab a cheap coolant tester, available for less than $5 from any auto parts store. Simply unscrew the radiator cap, drop in the tester's inlet hose, and draw up a small amount of coolant. The arrow will display the antifreeze's boil over and freeze protection levels. Alternatively, you can dip a finger into the radiator or overflow coolant tank, but only when it's cool. Antifreeze should feel slick and smooth and not gritty. Grit suggests contaminants, meaning you need a fluid change ASAP. And for the love of Pete, don't lick your fingers after! Feeling all DIY and want to replace your antifreeze yourself? Let's show you how. First, make sure you use gloves and eye protection. Got 'em? To drain your old coolant, start by unscrewing your fill cap. Next, locate the petcock under the car. Place a drain pan under the radiator and loosen the petcock and let the old coolant run out. Once it's done draining, tighten the petcock back up. Remove the coolant reservoir and drain into the pan. Flush it and replace it. Next up, add radiator cleaner and water based on your car manufacturer's recommendations. Then replace the cap. Turn your car on and your heat on full blast until your temp gauge reads normal.
Full blast.
Turn the engine off and let it cool down. Remove the fill cap and drain the system a second time. Retighten the petcock and repeat the process 2 or more times, this time using distilled water until it runs clear. Determine your water to antifreeze ratio and amount based on manufacturer's recommendations or your owner's manual and refill your system. Add coolant mixture to your recovery reservoir. A crucial step now is to bleed the system, which will eliminate air pockets from the radiator system. With the radiator cap off, start your engine and let it run for about 10 minutes and then turn your heater onto its highest setting for about another 10 minutes. Turn your vehicle off and let the engine cool. Check your coolant level and top up if necessary. Replace the cap. Check under your car for leaks and clean up any spills. That's it from me. Do you have any more automotive DIYs you'd like us to cover in our next video? Leave a comment below, and if you like this video, don't hesitate to show us a little love and like it. Hey, feel free to share it too, and subscribe to our channel as we're always uploading new content. Until next time.